Good evening, gentlemen. Today I'm going to talk on a very hot topic that concerns the Indian industries, Mr. Adani. Let me introduce you to him. He's the third richest man in the world, and he's the number one industrialist entrepreneur of Asia. What actually happened was that an organization called the Hindenburg put out a report on the so-called underhand dealings of Mr. Adani and his companies and raised some 88 questions. I've got through those questions. These are questions which are run of the mill, and you can raise any amount of questions against any corporate entity and ask for answers. And even if the entity replies, you can always say that the answers are not up to the mark, and there's a lot under the carpet. I will couple this report on Adani with another report which was the BBC documentary which has been published on the 2002 riots 20 years ago and has indicted the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. When I add both these, 1 plus 1, it makes 2, and it shows that there's a devious plan by the Western world to put India on notice because they are scared of India and they are angry with India. They are scared because India cannot be pushed over, and now the fifth largest economy in the world with a massive army and air force and a reasonably strong economy. And worse for the Americans, India has not condemned Russia, and India is trading with Russia. In fact, India is the biggest buyer of Russian oil now. In fact, Russia has got a lifeline through India. So when you add up all these things, the Western world, led by the United States, including Germany and England, were greatly perturbed. And that is the reason they had these two things coming up. First, the BBC documentary, and now the report on Adani. The report on Adani has had an effect in the sense that Adani's cumulative wealth has plummeted, gone down, and from number 3 position, I think he's come to 16 or 20, and he could go down a little more. But his fundamentals are strong, and that is what matters. Adani was having a public issue which was subscribed of almost $2.5 billion, but as a wise man, he decided not to go ahead with it because of the mayhem on the stock exchange. And the stock exchange also is engineered by big organizations like Citibank and others, which are again controlled by the Americans. And once the Americans decide that they want a particular man to be dealt with in a particular way, they go about it in their own method. So, gentlemen, what is apparent is not real. That is an age-old saying. I don't think that Adani has done anything wrong. Somebody mentioned, well, we hadn't heard of Adani 10 years back, and look where Adani reached. Fair enough. There's an answer. I would like these good gentlemen to answer that when Henry Ford made the small car, nobody knew about him, and within a decade, Henry Ford became one of the richest men in America. What did you say about that? It is the personal skill and the entrepreneurship that matters, and Adani had it. And he's gone into ports in airfields and aerodromes, and he's doing pretty well. It's his genius. So give the man his genius. And in case there is something wrong, I'm sure the Indian government and the Modi will investigate. They have investigated a lot of people, and some of them have run away from India, like Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya. And so many have been put under bars also. There was a time where the owner of the Sahara, Subrato Roy, spent almost 2 years in jail. So it is wrong to link everything on face value. I am very clear in my mind that this is a concerted attempt to undermine India. Gentlemen, be sure that is always something going on in the Western world to perpetuate their hegemony. The British are finished. After they lost their colony, they're nowhere. Great Britain has become Little Britain. The French are nowhere. The Germans were trying to dominate the world under Hitler. They can't do it now. They have Russia to face. And America, with a debt of almost $30 trillion, doesn't know what to do. And they need somebody as a scapegoat. And they thought, well, India is one, so we make a movie on Modi, show that he was a murderer and all that crap, and catch the biggest Indian rising star, Adani, and put him down so that it'll affect the Indian economy. Gentlemen, the Indian opposition is playing into the hands of these people, and I won't be surprised that they are in league with them. I would remind you that the Congress party had sent Mr. Manishankar Iyer to Karachi once, just after the BJP won, and he requested the Pakistanis to help remove Modi. I mean, you can just imagine. I mean, here is Manishankar Iyer. The videos are there, you can watch them. So there is no faith in these opposition parties, who in any case matter for nothing as far as India is concerned. And I have nothing more to add on this, except I'm giving a forecast. When the bourses open on Monday, Adani is going to make a comeback, and we will see what is the truth. And as far as the documentary of Modi is concerned, I think the government was wrong to ban it. There's no need to ban it, because people who see it will realize that it's a lot of crap. And BBC is responsible for it. BBC is still living in the old age, the imperialistic age, where BBC was supposed to be the pristine, the pure news site. It is no longer. It is dominated by certain people who have a bias against India. Even the Labour Party in England has a bias against India. Some Americans have a bias with India. They had a bias against India for 50 years. I won't go to all those details now. And I will say, gentlemen, everything is not honky-dory for the West. And there's going to be a backlash. I close now, gentlemen. Be very clear that Adani will come out of this mess, this morass, which is created by the Americans and the Germans and the other powers. And I'm sure he will rise up. And let's hope he does it for the good of India. If you like my channel, share it, like it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe. I will close now, gentlemen, and say goodbye. Take care. Jai Hind. God bless India.